So you just spoke to Varus, the Alderman's librarian steward, and just asked him if he had a nice evening with Father Gregor, and he looked utterly speechless and shocked. And that's where we are at the moment.
I hold up my hand to forestall any comments from him.
Okay.
And I'm going to tick off on my fingers. Father Gregor had manipulated the situation so that I, Aquans, and Albrecht were out of town. With your aid, poisoned the alderman. Had his goons confront and harass and caused, or triggered at least, Bree's reaction. Then, this cleric, this one that you trust so much, used his magic to kill that person he should have been saving. Phineas was not dead. Phineas was killed by a cleric spell. And I know what it is. I have the plant he used to get the poison. I have the vial that he gave to you to poison him. Do I need to go on? What I really would like from you at this point is to stop any kind of subterfuge, act, or whatever. Come upstairs with me, and we can clean the slate.
I also speak up at this point and I say, add to the fact that there would have only been 3 members of the village voting at Bree's trial. No way Mustafa would have voted to convict her. You would have been the swing vote.
Sorry, I forgot that one. You obviously have casted your lot in with the wrong people. What do you think of this now?
He's a little taken aback, and he's just hanging his head almost in shame by the looks of it. He doesn't look like he's running. He doesn't look like he's putting up much resistance. He says,
Right.
You seem to know everything. He says,
We seem to have put it together. I think it's time to come clean. Let's go.
okay. I open the door and we just lead him out, presumably.
I'm going to lead him. I want you to follow up behind because obviously this guy's not trustworthy. And I want to make sure he doesn't, try something really stupid like stab a dagger into the alderman. I want to make sure. Actually, is he armed?
You're gonna search him?
Does he have a dagger on?
No,
He's gonna have a quick.
he doesn't have any weapons on him now.
I'm gonna still keep an eye on him just because he could have easily something concealed. And I am going to always be between him and the alderman.
And I'm going to be behind him, basically.
Yeah. So we have him sandwiched, and we're going to lead him upstairs, and I want him to confess to the alderman.
Okay. Needless to say, as the 3 of us walk in, Ivor and Isabeau look a little confused.
And I say to the both of them, this is something you need to listen for. And I gesture for him to come clean.
It takes him a moment to start speaking, but he begins to tell the story from his point of view as it pointed out. A few days ago, before we left the village, Father Gregor came to him with a plan of effectively changing the political structure of the Plateau. It was the main point of it was to get the 3 of us to get enough members of the village out of town or unable to, because he had this fake trial, and basically this witch trial he's pointing out planned for quite some time, ever since Bree started using her magic too recklessly. He says he wanted to get you two out of town so that you couldn't be here to provide her with any magical aid, and he also wanted to ensure that that her trial went in his favor. Albrecht's mining expedition played into that. It got rid of one, but that still meant there would be 4 people voting. He wanted to narrow that down even more. And he came to me with an offer. He said that he had found... He says he said that if we took you out of the picture, it would mean that as long as I voted in his favor. He says, you see, he's obviously having a hard time putting his words together. And he says she would be tried and convicted and then executed. That would be one fewer threat to the Plateau, as he put it. And as my reward, he would suggest that I become acting alderman in your stead. Just until you recovered, he says. I didn't know the poison was lethal. He says, I just was told that it would put you out of the way for a little bit, and in the meantime, I would be able to govern in your stead, and Gregor would provide his unilateral support to my position as a method. He would say that and it was, the long-lived elf might prove, with intelligence and wisdom, might actually govern this plateau better than a human nearing the end of his time, his life. It says,
God. All right.
He says, it wasn't without... He says, I've served 3 aldermans in my lifetime. He says, I've advised them and aided them as best as I could. I think I do indeed have the qualities needed to lead and to govern this place with Ace, and I could possibly have helped many people for the better. He says, I admit pride...
Yeah. Haven't you proven that? Sorry.
No, he says, I admit that that Gregor played on my pride there. He says, but I'd never meant for any of this to happen. It just looks like he's having a hard time keeping it together at this point. You see, Ivor says, let's have a sigh. He clearly is still quite exhausted and probably not capable of handling this. Says an innocent girl, Vars. Says ignoring the attempt on my life. He says that seems somehow inconsequential by comparison. It says 18 years old. She's just barely old enough to qualify as an adult in our village. He's just like, I could have overlooked anything but that, I think.
I say to the alderman at this point, you're truly exhausted. You've been through a lot. Let us handle this. We are going to go to the guardhouse now, and we will, for the time being, until there's a fair trial, I think we should incarcerate Varus, and I think Bree should be set free.
And he says, I'll do what I can, but I just hope your evidence will convince enough people.
Well, are you convinced?
He is. He looks at this and he says, I am. He says,
right.
But I'm not in much condition to put up much of an argument.
Yes. Well, at the very least, Varus needs to face a trial. How that comes out is, I am not a person who thinks people should be chucked off the plateau wholesale. That is not something that we should do, but that is up to you guys. I'm going to make sure that he gets his trial at least, and a fair one, not like that kangaroo court that just happened. And what will be will be. I am going to go and talk to Bree now. Varus obviously needs to be incarcerated for the moment. I will fill in Mustafa on what's going on, and hopefully, things will work out. We'll have to see though.
You hear him say, Ivor says, I advise that no one speak any of this to Gregor or any of his flock. He says, it's high time that he had the tables turned on him.
If you want to keep this quiet, which I understand, then we can't bring Varus to the guardhouse because no one's going to understand why he's there.
All he wants is just that this doesn't get back to Gregor at the moment.
Oh, all right. All right.
He thinks it's better that Gregor has to should be in for a surprise this time.
Well, hopefully you'll have time to recover and we can do something about Gregor shortly. All right. We head out.
Taking Varus with us, I assume?
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
We can't leave him here. He is not trustworthy.
He's not offering any resistance.
All right. So we're just going to walk.
Yep.
As nonchalantly as possible. There's not a whole lot of people out anyway. To the guard tower.
Mm-hmm.
And
it is a short walk. A short, silent walk.
All right. Who's on duty? Is Mustafa there?
He is still here, yes. There's
Is
only a
anyone else
handful of other there's only a few other watch officers present.
Are the two that were dragging Bree here?
Nope, they do not seem to be here. You recognize the two who were guarding the tavern earlier.
All right, so we have a tale to tell you, and we go in, I assume.
Yep.
And without having to go through all the details all over again, I fill in Mustafa and tell him what had actually happened. And Varnius needs to obviously be held for the moment, so I turn him over to their custody. Legally, on this plateau, I would consider her trial a mistrial, I suspect, but I don't know how things work as far as that goes. I mean, is she still going to be executed tomorrow?
No, but they are going to have to talk. But this is obviously going to be a discussion. Obviously, her trial is probably going to be invalidated, but
yeah, all right.
At the moment, she is probably still going to be held here.
I am going to go and make sure she's filled in. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell her the whole thing and tell her that you didn't kill him. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to very quietly let her know if we can't get... I mean, things could happen really fast. Yep. Someone could, at some point, just decide that, it's whatever and try and remove you from this plateau. You are going to be fine. I'm going to fill her in on the Featherfall plan.
Okay.
Just so she knows, just in case.
You explain to her. Okay. So what exactly do you say?
We're going to... currently, Mustafa and Ivor know what happened. Your trial is considered a mistrial now. But tomorrow morning, Gregor and Bilius are going to show up, and they're going to want to go through the process. They're probably also going to have a whole lynch mob with them, and they're going to try and have you executed. We're going to do our best to stop that. But for some reason, if we can't manage it because of, sheer numbers or whatever, you're not dying. I'm going to save your life. I'm going to cast a spell if worse comes to worst, so that you gently float down instead of dying.
Okay.
I'm not sure how thrilled you are with this place anymore after all this, so...
I also say, we found a village to the east.
Oh, yes, my bad. I forgot about that part.
Say,
I fill her in on the book we acquired.
yeah.
There is a world down there. It is not the underworld, as Gregor would like to tell. I have, through means of magic, seen this village, and it's bigger than this place. And it's maybe about 2 weeks travel from here to there, to the northeast. Depending on what you want to do, let me know. We'll figure it out.
All right, so we explain all that to her.
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check. This is a bit of a...
There's an awful lot to swallow, I know.
Yeah.
Well, my 5 isn't going to help.
Well, it seems it's a mixed bag of things, obviously. There's a lot going on, but she seems happy that that she isn't actually responsible. You think at some level she probably did, so maybe think she was.
You're not a murderer. Besides, I would call that self-defense anywhere. They are not nice people.
All right, so after we say that, and are we going to head out then?
I am going to leave my owl perched up here, facing out. And this is the instructions it has. Oh, she has, my bad.
Yeah.
If Father Gregor or Bilius or those other 2 watchmen come charging or marching across the open ground here towards the guardhouse, that I am to be notified immediately.
Okay. As we are leaving her cell, we do notice that there is, Varus has not been put in prison yet. But there is no one else around, so she is basically being avoided by probably many of the guards in here. So she's effectively in almost solitary confinement. By the looks of it.
All right.
They're just like, some people are probably frightened of this. You think?
Frightened of what she has done.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, I say to you, this is not. Just looking around as we walk back towards her. This is not going to blow over. This is.
Leave your cat here with her.
Yeah.
Same instructions.
Yep.
Just in case. I don't want to have this all go south at this point.
Okay. Yeah. And then, I'm going to actually summon her inside the cell because I can do that.
If nothing else, you can have a cat to stroke.
Yeah.
And then Miles going to perch on top.
Yeah.
We'll head back to my place, and it's still relatively early.
Yes, it is. It is. Well, this is quite the predicament we're in.
The problem is not so much Gregor anymore. The problem is
all these people.
It comes down to the peasants.
Yeah.
His flock. I mean, they're his followers. They're not necessarily going to listen to reason. They're going to assume that we've used our evil magic to affect Varus and make him say things that he had nothing to do with, and that this is all just some sort of plot to discredit Gregor. Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Yeah.
So that's why the precautions. So I think we should get a bite to eat, get some sleep, and be fresh and up before dawn.
Okay.
Because you don't know how this is going to go. You definitely don't want any sort of exhaustion in playing into this again.
No. Okay.
And I think you should set up an alarm spell around the building here.
The watchtower or your house?
House.
Okay.
Our familiars are watching the watchtower.
Okay.
So.
I will set up my alarm spell
Yeah.
over the door and window.
Yeah. You never know what could happen.
Okay. And then we're going to take another long rest after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gain back our spells.
Yep. I gained some new portents. I didn't cast any spells.
And I left the hemlock plant and the vial at Gregor's.
The alderman's, right?
Oh, sorry. I said Gregor?
Yeah,
Yes, at the Ivor's.
Yeah. Okay, then.
And...
So, we wake up before the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
We are woken up by your familiar.
Oh, what happened?
Your instructions were to be alerted if any of those 4 individuals were heading that way.
And
Those 4 individuals, followed by leading a mob, are heading towards the watchtower through the town square, and you all can see them. Basically, they've gone through the town square past the houses, and they're heading towards the watchtower. You think the fact that Gregor really wants to make sure this goes through. Now he's probably heard word that the alderman's recovering.
How many people are we talking about here?
Altogether, probably more than 30.
Get up. Go downstairs.
Yeah.
We had our long rest.
We did get a long rest, yes. Just barely.
Open the door. See things with my own eyes.
Yeah.
What? Pitchforks? Torches? What? Or just shaking fists and... Do they have them built up into a frenzy of some kind?
A little bit, yeah. Some of them are indeed armed, as you would say. The torches might just be because it's the sun hasn't quite gotten up yet.
How far ahead are they?
They're not basically almost right where the mob was last time when we came into town, so just past the houses and heading towards the tower.
This is bad.
This is bad.
So, we're here.
We're here. They're heading that way.
They're roughly about here.
Yep.
How fast are they moving? While I'm ascertaining this, I am already walking in that direction.
They're not running, but it's like power walking. They're walking with intent and some speed.
So if I want to overtake them, I'm definitely going to need to use Expeditious Retreat.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
And I say there's not much we can do against a mob apart from just start killing people.
Well, I'd like to avoid that.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Expeditious Retreat.
Okay.
At that same time, I am going to suggest that you hurry as quick as you can.
A bit slower than you, basically.
Yeah, I am going to move at my full move rate. And I'm going to circumvent them a little bit. But as I go by, I'm going to wave at Gregor, give him a grin, and head straight on back into here.
Needless to say, he picks up the pace when that happens.
And I'm not going to knock. I'm just going to open the door.
Yeah. You see Mustafa and the 2 guards from there before. They appear to be in the process of having an early meal slash drink, basically just an early breakfast. But they do seem to be awake.
I assume that this is a fortified spot.
This is a watchtower. It's a fortified building.
Yeah, I assume there's a bar that can be dropped into some brackets to hold the door closed. Yep. Do that.
I'm still outside.
Yeah, I know.
Seeing this, I'm probably going to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to catch up in time.
I didn't think so.
No. Okay.
I turn around to them and say,
and Mustafa says, "I take it things are not going well."
There is an angry mob heading here, led by our favorite person, and
as you hear this, says, You hear a fist on the door. Open up! It says, her time is up.
There you go.
You hear also lots of other shouting outside.
All right. Personally, I say to Mustafa,
Yeah.
I have no problem with Gregor and his followers, not the peasants, but him and his his son and
Yeah, you can actually look out the window and see them if you want. You can see.
Yeah, there's a grating. I assume.
Yeah, there's a grating. You can see Gregor. You can see Bilius. You can see the two guards that were dragging Bree. You see his 3 cultists, the acolytes that work with him, and the rest of the villagers. It probably, and you basically have a count. It comes to about 36 people in total.
And I say to Mustafa, at this point, have lost all interest in their well-being. I can inflict a great deal amount of damage on them right now and probably prevail, especially locked up behind here. All I have to do is be able to see them. But legally, I don't really, and morally, I mean, the people here are just ignorant peasants, and they're just under this guy's spell. I don't really want to go killing innocents, even idiot innocents. Gregor is on his last leg. He doesn't even know it yet. But I don't want to go killing a bunch of peasants.
Okay. As you hear this, you hear something heavy hit the door. You did remember to see that Bilius still had the hammer.
God, Warhammer time! I say to Mustafa,
it's a reinforced door.
Yeah, Mustafa's hands are tied though, right? He pretty much has to allow this to happen.
I mean, legally, yes. Morally, he is perfectly fine fighting them off, but he does know this isn't going to be a fight that they can win if this becomes a fight. 36 people. There's 4 of you. There's 4 of you in here at the moment.
Yes. It is not as one-sided as you seem to think. I have, unfortunately, some moral compunctions about killing morons. I have no problem with a straight fight with Gregor and his son and the watch people. They know what they got themselves into. And the acolytes. But peasants...
You hear...
How's the well as his door holding?
Well, you hear the Warhammer hit stone this time, not wood.
No, he missed.
He's actually, in theory, missed both... Well, no, he hit the first time. I suppose I should see how much damage that did. That was so the first hit was pretty good. This is a miss.
Yeah. And I want to do an insight check on Mustafa and the guards that are in here.
Okay.
I mean, how invested are they in, this? That's wisdom? Wisdom? Yeah. 21. Do they look like...
You haven't rolled a natural 20?
My bad, 20.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
19 plus... Okay, 20. Mustafa is... He's getting fed up with this, you can tell. That Gregor has been... That this is going too far for him, but he's... Legally, his hands are tied and he's conflicted, but he is willing to stand with you in this case. The other 2 look terrified. So, you do realize that if this is probably going to come down to a fight, it's going to be me, you, who's outside, you and Mustafa, and these 2 guards who you have no idea what will happen. They might run, they might... There's no way out. There's only one way out of the tower, really. And the mob's between them and out. They might fight because of that, but they might also surrender and just... They're law-abiding and probably more morally upstanding than some of the other watch members, but they're not suicidal.
Yes, they're not getting paid enough for this.
No.
I say to Mustafa, all right, I can read a crowd. I mean, I can read you guys. I understand.
Yeah.
Your hands are tied. These 2 don't get paid enough for this. I am going to try and diffuse this as best I can.
Okay.
I turn to the door of the slot, and I yell out at Gregor. I'm going to come out.
As you do that, you hear another hit the door. It's a sturdy door, but it is taking a beating.
And I say to Mustafa, I just saved your life. Back off a bit.
You say to Bilius, I presume?
Oh, Bilius, my bad. God. Yes, I say to Bilius.
You're having trouble with names today.
Yeah, I noticed. I said, I just saved your life. Back off for a few moments. Get your dad to step back, and there's mob as well. I'm going to come out. And I whispered to Mustafa, lock the door when I leave.
Yeah. Okay, so you unbar the door.
Well, no, not until they back up.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
No. I'm probably with disadvantage.
Oh, no.
14.
They back up a little bit. They're basically now standing at basically. Sorry?
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, I know. We'll edit that out. Sorry, I missed that. What was it?
How far back have they moved?
Well, basically, there are steps leading up to the door.
Yeah.
So there's now they're off the stairs. There's a small space, and there's like there's like a U of people with Gregor. You do have
10 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
You also see me off to the side by the tree, by some of the trees in the hills.
Yeah.
Clearly watching this, and I have my staff gripped in both hands. Clearly waiting to see how this goes.
Right. I still have my concentration going on
Expedition's
Retreat.
Yeah.
Right. I unbar the door.
Yeah.
I open it up and
You go out.
wait until they bar it behind me.
Okay. They close the door and they bar it. Yeah.
And
You are now standing at the top of a staircase, surrounded by people who probably hate you.
Yes. I know my position is quite precarious here,
Yes.
but I'm going to hold my hands up and say, look,
You obviously know that the crown of my staff is pointed directly at Gregor. You can see where I'm aiming.
yeah. I'm going to say to the general populace, because I don't really want to address Gregor himself necessarily. Well,
Yeah.
that ship has sailed. I'm going to say to the general population, I'm actually a good person. I don't want to see you all die. So that's why I'm here. I know, and you know, because I have cast a fair amount of magic in town, and we've dealt with that giant crowd stuff that you know about. And I've done nothing but good for this town. And I don't really want to go wholesale slaughtering farmers. It's bad. It's just not good for the village. This trial has been declared a mistrial by the alderman.
You hear Gregor speak this one. Lies!
Yes, and you are pretty much a perpetrator of most of them. But that aside, if you guys, I mean, I'm talking to the population again. Mm-hmm. If you pursue this, your lives are going to be in great jeopardy. Is that what you want? And I am going to try and persuade the idiots to go home.
Roll high.
Yeah, I know. Zealots. Gotta love them.
So, a total of 1.
Not a natural 1, at least.
No.
It's a 2.
It's a 1.
Minus
it's
1.
A 1 in total. Yeah. So, you did not expect this to go in your favor. They obviously are... He has them at the moment under his control pretty thoroughly.
Well, I say to everybody, including Gregor and Bilius, apparently, for this evening, or this morning, I guess, I cannot convince these people of their misdeeds. Tomorrow or later on today is going to be another day, and I turn around, I knock on the door, and I say to Mustafa, please open the door. I can't convince them.
Okay.
And I step aside.
Yep, you. The door is. It takes a moment, but the door is unbolted and opened, and Mustafa steps out and says, looks right at you and says, "Many have tried." He says,
Yes, but and I'm facing him so that no one else behind me can see him, see what I'm doing. And I said, "It's not over yet," and I wink at him.
Yeah, he notices it, and you get the distinct feeling that he was well, he had a hand on his new short sword, the magic one.
Yeah.
And you get the distinct, and he was looking directly at Gregor before then, and you know, Mustafa is a muscular and athletic man. He could probably leap the distance, and you think that he was thinking of cutting the head off the snake as it was.
Another time, I say to him very quietly. And then I want Mustafa and the two guards that are in there to gently bring Bree out. Okay. Not these morons.
Mustafa instructs the two guards to bring Bree out. He does not move from the door. And he just... And he literally has his hand on his sword and he says, "Let anyone who wants to contradict that order step forward."
Hope he rolls better than me.
He rolls better.
All right.
Gregor, Bilius, and the rest of them and basically the watch members and the cultists aren't really impressed. A few of the the villagers are starting to think that this is getting a little out of hand because it's just like they aren't quite. It doesn't take much to intimidate a peasant. A man with a sword can do it very easily, even with a bad roll. A man with a sword who has two wizards on his side.
Oh, yeah, by the way, while I'm standing here waiting, I'm just casting firebolts into the sky.
Yeah, I was considering doing something along those lines. So you're just throwing firebolts up in there?
Just casting.
Alright, they go 120 feet and they dissipate, obviously.
Yep.
But, yeah, there's quite a few. That seems to cow them a little bit.
And I say to Gregor, the only thing saving you right now is pure happenstance. Your time is coming.
He says, "You have nothing, otherwise you would not waste your effort on these parlor tricks."
We will see.
I'd like you to roll one insight check, please, when he says that.
On
Gregor.
Insight would be...
Wisdom.
13.
13, okay. He believes what he's saying, but you get the distinct feeling that there's something else there. It's like there's something about his motivation that just is like... You're having a hard time understanding it, but you look over my direction, you think I might have gotten a better read on that than you did.
Well, I'm not leaving my spot, so...
Neither am I. And Gregor is obviously well aware of where my staff is pointing.
Yeah.
No, he's well aware that this situation will end badly for him personally if it goes.
Oh, he dies first.
Yeah.
And I say that to him. By the way, if you bend, break, even so much, do anything outside of what is legal, you die first. And instantly.
Just how loud are you saying that?
Oh, just quietly so he can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, Bilius might be able to hear it too. I don't really care.
He's not. He's quite happy. He seems to think that he's on the winning side for the moment. A few moments pass, and you hear footsteps being led up. And Bree is there. She is handcuffed, but not bound in chains like she was before, or gagged. Just a small, just ordinary handcuffs.
And I instruct them to remove the handcuffs, please. This is not proper.
They look a little surprised, and Mustafa says, "Do it." He doesn't. It's like you can tell. It's like this is an order. You are not allowed to disobey this.
Yeah, you're living because we're standing here.
Yeah, they unlock the handcuffs. So now there is a third magic user who is unhappy with the people assembled here, and you can see that there's at least a few people, a few of the smarter villagers, just like might not be. You see some of them just like almost moving behind someone else, as if to try not to be the first one to take a spell.
All right, I'm gonna kneel down and whisper to Bree at this point. Do you want to stay up here?
She just looks around at all of these people who, much like you, and probably to a much lesser extent myself, but also Mustafa, the three of you probably know most of these people. Like you've probably met them and lived in the same village for a long time, and you can see that seeing all these people here wanting to throw her off, and there's a few of them who are, let's put it this way, you can tell they would be probably throwing insults and possibly stones, were it not for the fact that there's a bit of a vanguard here for her.
Yeah.
This is a little heartbreaking for her to see.
I said, I'll get you safely off
this. Like, there's tears welling up in her eyes, and you just see the faintest shake of her head.
I give her a hug and tell her, don't worry. Remember what we told you to the northeast, and we will be joining you there probably quite soon. There's just a couple of things that we need to deal with up here before we leave. And I'm going to, hopefully, she'll see in my eyes what I'm referring to. Then I'm going to stand up, and I said, we will escort her, not you. And we head down.
Yeah. Mustafa also walks down with you, and he draws his sword this time. And is just like...
Yeah.
Needless to say, everyone except Gregor's most loyal followers, which is him, Bilius, and the three acolytes, give us a wide berth. Gregor is... Sorry?
Who does the deed? Who's responsible for this?
Who does the execution? There's usually someone. There's usually someone appointed. You can tell it's not going to be Mustafa, so it's probably going to be one of them. One of those five.
All right.
And they are following us. You can see that Gregor is... Bilius is quite smug. The acolytes are just waiting, just following, just loyal, obedient. You can see Gregor is trying to figure out... Like, he knows we're up to something, and he doesn't know what it is.
All right.
And I'm going to walk up and just walk beside you. Basically, there's the three of us almost forming a very small protective V almost around Bree at this point.
Yeah. All right. It's a short walk.
It is. So we're going to stroll down to the palisade then.
Yes, the platform.
Yep. Do you want to scroll down to there then?
I don't know if it does. Sorry. Nope, it's all right.
No? No.
That's the map.
Okay. So there's a wooden palisade down there.
Yeah.
Basically just almost like a scaffolding.
Yeah.
And it basically comes down to the fact that there are a crowd of people, and then the 9 of us standing on that platform.
Yeah.
And Gregor looks around, and he's clearly weighing up the odds, and he says, "It is time." You can see he's still trying.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm gonna kneel down and one more time, give Bree a hug, and I'll say to her, "See you soon." I take a feather,
yeah. And I lean down next to her and says, "Do not worry, he's not getting away with this."
Yeah. All right. Then I step back. Who's doing the deed?
Well, it's clear that it's not the three of us.
No.
He says, "I think," and he says, "my son has earned the right after being scorned by this witch. He turns to Bilius and gestures to the others. You see a glint of malevolent glee enter his eye, and he just brings both hands on the warhammer. It's like he seems to be holding it lovingly now as he steps forward. And then you see a bit of shimmer about the hammer that you recognize as something recently that's happened. That's a 6. And then you see that glow come across his eyes, and then you see him go, and he turns and slams the hammer down and faces Gregor. And you hear a voice that sounds like his, but there's a difference to it. There's a tone that is not normally associated with him. And he says, "This is not proper justice." And he says it quite loudly. Everyone except you and I looks completely just has no clue what's going on at this point, including Gregor.
I lean forward and say, "The new and improved Bilius," with a glint in my eye.
I laugh, and this is like, it was a good thing to get to let that hammer out.
Yep. I'm happy.
He looks genuinely surprised, and we are going to see if he is going to. So, I was basically just rolling an insight check to see if he could understand what's going on. He rolled a natural 1.
He has no
He
clue.
has absolutely no idea.
Hey, I'm going to stand here and see how this plays out.
Yeah, he is... You see him snap his fingers and the 3 acolytes come up. And they basically... you see them go for... They don't have the scimitars they had last time. You think maybe they are meant to be priests, so they probably aren't meant... Probably isn't a good... They aren't normally seen carrying weapons. It's probably not a good image. But they do have the ritualistic daggers that all of them carry for the holy symbol of Mithras. And all 3 of them just put their hands on their daggers. Bilius stands his ground as he is now compelled by the magic hammer to uphold justice.
Yeah, the honorable approach.
And Gregor suddenly sees that he doesn't have as much as much control over the situation as he thought, and he's a little panicking. And then,
not doing anything. I'm just watching. Nope.
You see him just reach his hand down to the dagger, and we've seen him use that before. And you know that's his. We both know that it is his holy symbol of Mithras.
Right.
And you see him just bring his hand up, and he says, and he looks Bilius right in the eye, and you see him say a single word. It says, "Flee." And he's going to cast command on Bilius.
All right, see how this goes.
Also, wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, rolled a 6 last time.
7 this time.
Hey, even better.
Yeah, that's still a failure.
Yeah.
So, as per the nature of the command "flee," he has to spend his entire turn. He turns and runs, and he has to spend the entire 6 seconds running as far as he can. So he's going to get 60 feet.
You can't turn and run because you'll fall off the plateau.
No, but there's no obvious. He's not going that way. He's going.
Okay.
Yeah. And people are just like the people give him a wide berth because this is weird as far as they're concerned, and he's running.
Yeah.
And he'll be doing that for the next 6 seconds, and then we'll see what happens. At which point, Gregor just realizes that he has to do this himself. Steps up and grabs Bree by the shoulder, by the arm, basically.
Yeah.
And he says, he says, he's a little flustered now. He had a speech prepared, but now a lot of things have happened. And I'm just gonna see. Come on, Bree. I'm gonna give her advantage on this because this is something that she really, really would want to do. That's enough. Yep. And he says, people of Lakeside, and he says, and basically, you just see Bree, who is unshackled, in an arms free, and more important, and also she noticed she just turned. You see her turn because he has his back to her, and just kicks him right in the crotch. He
Excellent.
doubles over and rolls around on the ground in pain. And she spits on him and looks towards you. And she gives a bit of a play bow to everyone. And she does a backflip of the scaffolding.
Well, as she does her bow, I'll say to her, "See you soon."
I say, without a doubt, your best performance, I say. And then as she backflips,
I cast Featherfall.
you cast Featherfall.
I'm not disguising it.
Nope.
I'm just casting Featherfall.
And it basically adds this very surreal and very impressive effect to her backflipping and sort of spiraling down and floating slowly as she descends. And you, for the first time in the entire ordeal of this, you see a smile on her face as she goes down.
Yep, that's my girl. Once she's safely down,
Yep, you see her land.
I'm gonna turn around. I have the
Bilius
feather
is
land.
coming back, by the way.
Yeah, I have
But
the
as he
feather
gets
still.
here and sees the situation as it is, and the glow vanishes from his eyes, he's like, "Wait, what? What?" So clearly,
Yeah. I make sure Gregor is paying
yeah,
attention.
he's getting up to his feet, and he's just like,
And I drop the feather.
and he sees it fall, and he turns and looks, sees her not there, and just walks over to the side of the palisade where all of his acolytes and guards are at this point, and looks down and sees her there on the ground, safely alive, and she just waves up. And you see her sprint off east.
I'm going to very calmly walk up to Gregor, right almost face to face.
Well, he's facing away from you, but yes, okay. So you want to go right next to him?
Oh, just behind his ear
Yeah.
then. That's fine. Your days are numbered. Just calmly.
Yeah.
And I walk away.
Roll an intimidation check with advantage, please.
12.
12? He's trying not to show it, but you can tell that the facade is slipping. He's well aware that this is not gone as he intended. And he probably now looks like a complete fool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I yell in a loud voice to the peasants, "This is what you get when you cross me." Oh, sorry. Us.
Yeah. And I'm going to just, they're standing pretty ways back, and I say, I'm holding my staff, and I'm like, I wanted to do this. Let's see if I... Yep. I'm just going to, they're standing pretty far back at this point. I just bring my staff in an arc in front of me, and I'm actually going to cast Frost Fingers on the ground, just like a cone of freezing cold is going to just strafe across the ground as I just... Harmlessly, obviously, because nothing is in range. I'm aiming it down to the ground at an angle. But needless to say, they disperse when they see that.
I yell at him, "Go back to farming. Leave this nonsense to the safer as a farmer."
So after my a blast of cold frosts the ground over, and just like, and disperse the crowd. It was like, that was worth it, I think.
If I turn around now and I look at the platform where Gregor, Bilius, 3 acolytes, and 2 guardsmen are, are they all within range of a thunder
A
wave?
15-foot cone as a cube.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. It does look like they're probably going to be dispersing.
So tempting.
So tempting, but I just say I don't think it's the best plan. I just say to you.
No, I want this done so that this plateau is left in a better way when we decide to
Leave.
go explore the
I say.
world. Yeah. So I think it's probably best not to murder a bunch of people
And
in
martyr
cold
him.
blood. Yeah.
He goes, no. He says he needs. I say this needs to be done right.
I pat Mustafa on the back, say thank you, and
He
definitely keep an eye on your one remaining prisoner, please.
he looks down over the ground that she's beneath the plateau, and he says, "I hope she'll be safe down there."
That is not the underworld that a lot of us have been meant to believe. And
I say,
go really close to him and say, there's actually a nice little town that way. And we've told her where it is.
And I say, I think she's safer down there than she would be up here.
Yes, this place is certainly not as pleasant as it used to be. Hopefully we'll return to it being pleasant again soon, though.
Okay. And then we are going to walk off from there.
Yep. Walk off into the dawn.
Yeah, and the dawn is up now.
Yep.
I say, I don't think we're done just yet. I say, we cannot leave him here.
No, that's why we're not going to join up with her right now.
No, he needs to die.
Yes, well, we'll have to make sure this is done
Properly.
Yeah, so that his followers see the error of their ways.
And I think we need to go talk to someone about that.
Yes. Oh, also I want to stop in at the inn.
Okay.
Let them know that their daughter is safe. And we will be going out to make sure she's safe soon.
Okay.
We just have some things that need to be finished.
Some loose ends to tie up.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a brief conversation with them, obviously.
Yeah. So you don't need to mourn. Your daughter is safe. And as far as I'm concerned with this plateau the way it is right now, safer where she's going.
Like I said.
Yeah. Than with this place.
All right. I assume the next stop is going to be the Alderman's.
Yes.
All right. So we walk in.
Tell him. Yep.
We go up to his bedroom, presumably. Yep. There are some guards now on the manor.
Oh, the good ones, I hope. Okay.
And we go in.
Yep.
All right. And we go up to his office and, to his bedroom. He's still in bed. You see some medicine left, probably for your mother, but she's probably gone home to get some rest herself at this point.
Yes, it's been a long haul for her.
Yep. And he says, "It is done, I assume."
Yes. Bree is safe, on our way to a town that we know of, not too far from here. And we have something that needs to be done before we'll probably end up joining her.
He nods to that. He says, I understand.
Well, I made a promise to her parents that I would keep her safe, and I want to make sure she's settled.
Then I want your promise of something else.
What would that be?
That you help me and anyone else in this town who still retains any trace of sanity to deal with Gregor before then.
No, you don't need a promise from me for that. His days are numbered. We need to do this properly, though, just so that any followers he has don't become more problems.
He says, properly. He says, I'm not entirely sure I know what that is at this point.
Yeah, it is difficult when someone has tried to kill you and tried to murder yet another person. And by the way, this is, you don't know this yet, but This is the second attempt on your life. We thwarted the first one.
I said
We
we
weren't
suspect. We
What?
suspect
We
this is
suspect.
the second attempt on his
We
life.
suspect. Yes, we're not entirely sure. Otherwise, we would have come and told you. But it is at this point, I would lean really hard into the fact that this is most likely the case. And anyway,
If this is not dealt with properly, this could end in civil war. You can tell that he is clearly... He feels helpless in the face of all this because he is the town's leader and he should be able to. He feels responsible. He should be able to handle this entire situation, but he's at a bit of a loss.
Well, you're tired. You're recovering. I suggest that you take a day, rest, recover, think about it. And then we will get together and deal with this. If it comes down to it, I honestly just don't feel right about slaughtering a whole bunch of farmers. It just doesn't seem right. But I think dealing with Gregor and his immediate little group is quite the opposite. I'm more than happy to deal with him because he is also trying to kill us. So that is fine. But what got lost in all of this, because of all the excitement on the last day, the kobolds are not they're not happy. They're definitely on the rise. We had a battle with them. That's the reason why we came into town so exhausted. They're heading this way in mass. So
this is obviously not welcome news, and he looks so he just looks like more to worry about. Is basically the expression on his face.
Yep, and I suspect, considering how long it takes to get through things, and there are some allies in the woods that we know that will probably have slowed them down a little bit. I think tomorrow, most likely tomorrow night, we are going to have a cobalt issue to deal with as well. So, again, get your rest. You're going to need it. We're going to need it. And
in order to... Then we need to gather as many allies as we can to defend the village. I have absolutely no idea how Gregor's flock will come down, whose side they will come down on such a confrontation. So,
well,
but they cannot be counted on to handle this themselves.
No, but Gregor will have to. If he wants to maintain any kind of respect of his flock, he will have to at least weigh in to defend an obvious threat such as kobolds. If he doesn't, he'll lose a lot of face. And I'm not too concerned about the kobolds. I am kind of concerned about how things may pan out with, like, kobolds, those guys, and us. But I think we have a defensible position here on this side of the river. We'll see. Tomorrow will be a new day. You need to get your rest. And we'll see how this works out.
Okay.
It is not something that I relish, that's for sure. We have dealt with kobolds before in the past. They are cowards. We may be able to just drive them off. But we'll have to wait and see. We don't know.
Alright. He seems to be as okay as he can with all of this. And
yeah,
just lays back, and it looks like he's going to try and get some rest. So you get the distinct feeling he may not be actually be able to sleep very well, given everything that's happened.
I understand. It's fine. It's not. Get what you can. Definitely stay guarded. We will do the same. I don't think he's going to do anything too stupid, but you never know.
All right.
He's backed into a bit of a corner here.
Yeah. So we leave. We leave the alderman's room. We head out through the door, past the guards, and as we're standing in the square, we see Father Gregor, Bilius, and his acolytes, and the other two guards that were present, walking past, and we basically just have this moment of eyeing each other up as they go through the town square across the bridge, and probably head towards the Temple of Mithras. Or that way, yeah. And they're probably going to find out that some things are missing in a short order.
Yeah.
I say to you, as we leave the alderman's manor, well, there's one other issue we didn't discuss with the alderman. Our little visitor.
Oh, the flyby. Yes, that's fine.
Someone or something off this plateau is getting more interested in what's up here.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think there's enough on his plate.
Yes.
But as they walked by, I was sorely tempted to start throwing jeers and berating them and just trying to push them over the edge just so they attack us. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, and as the new dawn on this day as it comes, even at the start of the day, we already feel a little exhausted probably from the events that have happened. But we are happy to know that Bree is off the plateau and far safer than she could possibly ever be up here at this point.
Yeah, there's just too much going on for her, and she wasn't happy to begin with. She was not happy to be a barmaid or a server girl. Yeah. She's too much of a free spirit.
Or even a tavern owner.
She would have been stifled up here. She would have eventually just turned sour and be resentful of everything anyway. It would have been nicer if she could have just left on her own and went up.
In a way, she did leave of her own accord. I think that was what her last little bit there was. It was, I am not letting you make this decision for me.
Good on her. Actually, we'll see her soon.
Also, definitely took something away from Gregor.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna head across to my house, make sure Mom and Dad are okay.
Yep. Isabeau's getting some rest. Some much needed.
Yeah. Well, it is only morning, and we already had 2 long rests in the last 24 hours.
So we're not. So we're not going for another rest. We're wide awake. We are wide awake, though. There's probably a little bit of just the weight of everything that's happened is probably a little much to deal with at the moment, but it will get better.
Yeah.
Well, the only other person we know who would be an ally is Ulbrich. I said.
Yeah. At some point today, I'm going to wander over and just have a chat with him, fill him in on the details.
Well, he listens, he nods, he says a few things, and his last says, "I'm in," he says. And is clearly in the middle of working on something. You can tell that he does not like any of this more. He, when you describe Bree's thing, he says, "Well done, lass, well done." He says, "That will be a mental image that many will not be able to..." What?
Why does every dwarf have to be Scottish?
Lass. It doesn't necessarily have to be Scottish.
It's close.
Anyway. I don't know.
Anyway.
Blame... I have no idea who to blame. I was going to say Peter Jackson, but I think it predates Lord of the Rings, the film.
Probably.
Anyway, it's not important, but he's like, that's a mental image that isn't going to go away in people's mind anytime soon, so Gregor may not have come out of this as well as he thought.
Oh, no, he's in trouble.
And as the new dawn comes, I think we're going to end there. Bit of a short second half, but that's fine. Went quite well.
Yeah. Way better than I thought it would.
Things are going to get very interesting up here very quickly at this point.
Quicker than you think.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed our latest adventure together. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and please come back so you can see how the rest of this turns out, because it's going to be very interesting indeed.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.